All right. Well, happy Veterans Day, America. A country still divided over this election. That's not too surprising. What is how violent some of them are getting. Again, the exception more than the rule, but a good many people not taking the notion of a President Donald Trump very favorably. Again, I always think if this were reversed, though, and it was Donald Trump forces out there angry that Hillary Clinton had won, I suspect the coverage would be a tad different, but I could be wrong. So my friend Karl Rove, the former Deputy Chief of Staff for President George W. Bush, entertain my curiosity here, if you don't mind, Karl. What if it were the other way around, and it were Trump forces protesting right now because their guy hadn't won?
Well, we got a suggestion of what that might be like in 2000, when after George W. Bush was confirmed as President of the United States, we had the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives go on Meet the Press on December 17th, 2000, and when twice asked by Tim Russert if George Bush was legitimately elected President of the United States, Dick Gephardt of Missouri, a good man, twice refused to answer the question. We had a lot of Democrats protesting. Even today, Paul Begala, sort of a dead-ender, still says Bush was not legitimately elected president.
Incredible.
So not on the scale we're seeing now, but we've gotten a taste of it once before.
But, you know, the thing is, we've seen a great deal of class and magnanimity, certainly out of Hillary Clinton,
Yeah.
and certainly out of the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Should they, or, you know, these are isolated incidents in isolated cities. Is it incumbent on them to say something again, on anyone in leadership to say anything again, or just to write it out? I think one law enforcement official said you write it out.
Yeah, look, the local law enforcement will write it out. And look, there are elements that taking, you know, sort of college students here in Austin that we had marching down Congress Avenue. The police chief said there were they were just getting it out of their system. But there were bad agitators around trying to stir up violence and trying to stir up destruction of property. Clearly happening in Portland, which is near several sort of communes of really radical, violent anarchists. But look, I don't want to put it on President Obama or Secretary Clinton to do this, but I do think some appropriate Democratic official, maybe the acting Democrat National Chairman Donna Brazile, ought to come out and say, as Democrats, we ought to respect the peaceful transfer of power and knock it off. But I got to tell you, I think we've seen 3 class acts in the last several days. Tuesday night, Donald Trump's victory statement was incredibly good and generous and the right tone. The concession speech the next day by Hillary Clinton could not have been better. You can imagine the pain and bitterness that must be in there, but she didn't let it show. And then President Obama's comments I thought were terrific.